Just like with watching the first, I'm just going, oh, what is the director's cut's gonna be? Oh, what he's talking about, there's a lot of just raunchy sex and a lot of crazy violence. I'm like, fuck yeah. Cheers, guys. Now let's talk about some Rebel Moon Part 2. So I just rewatched it again, and I must say, like, when it comes to Rebel Moon, watching it for a second time after watching the first, obviously going to the little LA premiere thing and everything, is goddamn is the pacing really good in this version. Like, and Zach even talked about this, and I think I might have talked about it in my first reaction. I don't know if I did, but I know I was thinking it. But when it comes to Rebel Moon Part 2, it's like, yeah, I mean, you still have to have your first act, second act, third act. But I think the first act lasts it's when Noble comes back. That's pretty much like the first act. It's like, Noble, okay. And then all of a sudden you're just like, Part 2 is more like the second half of the second act, and then it goes into the third act, because it's very much just building up to this battle, with the farmers, with all that, with them coming back. It's pretty much just building up to this whole battle. So even though we got, like, in the first one, Part 1, we got, like, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 in that structure, but it was almost like, yeah, okay, but that was, I guess you could, I don't know. It's one of the things that I would like to ask Zach is, like, because you have this giant story, it's like you still had to divide it up, where you had to have, this first act, second act, third act in the first one, where you have this story that's happening, but then it's a two-part movie that you were filming, basically one big giant movie. So how did you decide how to structure that? And then again, we're only seeing the family-friendly side of this whole thing. And again, yes, of course, that's being Zack Snyder fans and hearing him talk and watching the movies, we immediately just think, yes, this is not what it's supposed to be. But again, just like with watching the first, I'm just going, oh, what is the director's cut's gonna be? Oh, what he's talking about, there's a lot of just raunchy sex and a lot of crazy violence. I'm like, fuck yeah. I think definitely before the director's cuts come out, I'm going to be watching some heavy metal for sure. I'm going to watch that shit. Absolutely. So definitely going to be watching some heavy metal, because that's what it's all based on. But yeah, like I said, the last 45 minutes, it builds up to those last 45 minutes. And in getting there, yes, it's a little bit of like okay, and there's, I do, at the same time, I wish Jimmy was in it a little more, but the build up for him to have his hero moment is so fucking fantastic. And the way that it's shot, and that, well, the whole war sequence, the whole last 45 minutes, cinematography is freaking awesome. But yeah, obviously we wanted more Jimmy. We do get more Jimmy, but maybe not as much as we thought we were going to get. Like, after watching the first one, it's like, oh yeah, Jimmy will be very much in the, but then when he has his moment, you go, oh yes. I mean, the whole fucking theater cheered with the when Jimmy has his moments, but other characters have their moments too. And it's pretty great. But at the same time, it's just like, I liked this one better, and I thought it flowed a lot. Just the flow of the film was better. Like, it just, when I was watching it right now and I was preparing things and I was editing and stuff like that, I kept just watching, like, oh yeah, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, we're already getting to the final battle here. This thing is like, it just moves, man. So yeah, really enjoyed it. Really loved the visuals. Cora Sofia Boutella, she just kicked a lot of ass. And yeah, there's some good, just some really good moments. And cheers to Rebel Moon Part 2. I'll probably be watching it one more time over this weekend, because I enjoyed it. And I know I'm biased, guys, because I love Zack Snyder. He's one of my favorite directors. I get it. Some people don't like what the hell, but at the same time, it's going to be interesting to see the reaction to the director's cuts.